Welcome to Wire Rush Racing and welcome to another gear review, or in this case, this might be more of an off-road racing 101. Today we're going to talk about three separate boots. Here we got some Red Wing boots, nice boots, good boots. We got some O'Neill Element boots, and we also have the Gaerne SG12s. Alright, we'll go a little bit through my progression, and this is kind of how I did it. So growing up, I wore lots of boots as a kid, riding around the farm, checking out the cows, seeing what's going on. Really had no idea what off-road racing was, just knew I liked to race dirt bikes, and well, this was kind of the go-to boot. Now, these are great work boots. These are good for working on construction sites and for wherever you might need them, hiking and whatnot. But what these aren't good is motocross boots. These do happen to have, this particular shoe here, happen to have a steel toe. So I do have a better toe box, but when it comes to the foot protection or ankle protection, well, you know, they don't cut it. Then when I started actually racing dirt bikes several years ago, or well, about 3 years ago now, I started out with, actually it was an MSR boot, entry-level boot. Since then I've had two other pairs of entry-level boots because they fall apart on me. Mainly around the ankle area where they pivot. The plastic will start separating from the leather, and they're really of no use at that point. A lot less protection. So they are, you know, they're very affordable boots. They're good entry-level boots if you're really tight on money, but you keep in mind that they're only going to last a certain amount of time before they start to come apart and you need to replace them. So, and then I got injured and I started looking for a better boot, and that's when I kind of found the gold standard in boot and protection, and that's the Gaerne SG12, and that's what I got here now. So, and this is about a $600 boot, and like a lot of things, you know, if you visit your local shops often and, you know, get to actually know your local retailers, you can a lot of times say, hey, what kind of deal can you make me on something like this? You actually may not end up paying full retail price. You can also, I hate to say it, you can also find them online for less than retail MSRP, but they're there. But always, I suggest going to your local shop first and giving them a fighting chance. Alright, so I mentioned I got injured. I was wearing these boots here. That's why I still have them. They're still in good shape, relatively. But they're not my race boot anymore. I will maybe go out and some practice, do some grass track stuff on them like that. But if I'm racing through the woods anymore, riding through the woods at a rapid pace, I will no longer be wearing these. What happened? Well, coming around the corner, and I decided to go on the left side of a tree instead of where I was originally going going the right side of a tree rather than the left. Made that decision a little too late. Ended up pinching my foot between the foot peg here, tree here, and it ended up breaking these two toes, my pinky toe and ring toe. And then once the swelling went down and all the bruising went down, you could see two pretty significant bruises across these two toes here. So, you know, something like that is what happened. And then upon investigating my boots, because tell you what, it's no fun. You got a lot of time to think about things whenever all you can do is just kind of sit down and hobble around and just, you know, work, come home and just, I don't know. Anyways, so I had a lot of time to think and look at what went wrong, what I did wrong, and what could I have done right. Well, in addition to just, you know, racing better, thinking smarter, look at my boots, and I did notice that the toe box, the plastic toe box, didn't go all the way around. On the Gaerne SG12s, one thing I noticed, and this part of the reason I went this way, is the toe box does in fact go all the way around. And I noticed that where it was just leather, I had two broken toes. Where they had more plastic, I had not just two bruised toes. So that there kind of sold me on replacing the entry-level boots with a more higher-end boot, essentially. And since then, actually at my last race at Steelville, I had an experience where I was very thankful I had these boots, because one thing I already pointed out, the ankle protection on the Red Wings, the ankle protection on the Element boots, well, that's what you get there, right? It's much stiffer than what you have in the Red Wings, but there's still some flexibility there. So if there's a situation where you kind of have a high chance to roll your ankle, it could still happen. Not to say it can't happen to Gaarne's, but well, it's much more challenging. You know, it's not gonna happen. So I shouldn't say that. It is much less likely to happen. And why is that? Something that all of the entry-level boots don't have is this, I'm gonna call it a wishbone coming down the back. So it starts way up here, comes down, splits, goes down, you know, on either side of your ankle. And what that does, it provides a lot of roll protection from, you know, rolling your ankle over or spraining it, or worse. And it's just a very stiff boot. It's a very heavy boot. And then one thing that it does is it provides like your pivot point. This boot actually pivots, unlike these, which is just one solid piece, which will end up ripping or separating from the leather, the plastic separate from the leather. This pivots two pieces, so the top portion will pivot independently of the bottom portion. Not a lot, but enough where you can walk around comfortably. And then the other thing I already mentioned, it has a much better toe box than my entry-level boots did. Actually, I think I want to say the O'Neill Rider boot had a decent toe box, but nothing compared to what this is. Has an awesome shin protection up here up front. It's just all around. This is a very well protected boot. You know, from whatever nature may try to throw at you. And not to say that other boots won't protect, they will, but maybe not as well as the Gaarne's. But anyways, so, you know, protection's one thing, price, whole different ballpark, right? I mentioned $600, $120, $130, somewhere in that range. Well, those are $180, but those aren't motorcycle boots. So, essentially, these are a fourth the cost of, well, maybe actually about the fifth the cost of these guys here. And one thing I'm hoping for, I haven't had these just, you know, years and years now, we're looking at just a couple months, but with these being pivoted and the failure point on my past boots being where they, you know, they wouldn't pivot, but they should, or where they do actually kind of flex at, that's the failure point. In fact, some of my earlier boots I would literally duct tape together to get me through till I bought the next pair of boots. I'm hoping these will last significantly longer and not only have better protection, but in the end, it's about to break even. So, you know, that's a win-win, right? So, more time riding dirt bikes, less time being injured, more time having fun. There you go. So, anyways, that's my progression. Wear good protection. Don't wear those. Wear these. Definitely wear these. So, have fun out there, you know, like I say, or like people you hear, dress for the crash, not for the ride, and for PPE, can't stress it enough. Anyways, have fun, be safe out there, and I'll see you out there. Bye.